3, 2, 1, action.
Hi, everyone, and this is Victoria Wolders, your Empathy Tales podcast host. Thank you so much for joining us today for another episode. We're excited to have you, and we're excited for you to be able to learn a little bit more about what it means to be caring, kind, and compassionate. All of these stories are meant to create compassion one story at a time, in the hopes that you too will be able to create compassion one story at a time. Well, today's story is a very special story, and it's called The Whispering Christmas Fairy. This story was actually told in front of my family at Christmas, so you'll hear some voices in the background. As you can tell, I was very nervous when I shared this story, but the story meant something to my family. See, there's a character in the story that is called Anna. Anna was the grandmother of my husband, and she was a very kind woman. She passed away. There also is another lady's name named Gloria, and she also is someone that is a family friend who has been taken care of by one of my family members. And then there's also the name Michael, who is someone that I knew a long time ago that I personally felt like I didn't treat very well and I could have treated better. So at the end of the story, I want you to reflect about who in your life can you give some more love to. And through this story, I was able to share with my nieces and nephews, my brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and many other people that were in the room, one of the very first oral storytelling episodes that I've ever done live. Well, without further ado, I hope that you enjoy this beautiful story called The Whispering Christmas Fairy. If you're comfortable, then I will begin. Do you want to start?
Sure. Hello, welcome back to the Oak and Eagle Kingdom of today. What? Today is Christmas! And today we're here with the Wolders! Gathered together for Christmas dinner. That's it.
Okay, thanks. So this is an empathy tale. I think we're on episode 80. And this story is going to be called The Whispering Christmas Fairy. I wonder what that one's going to be about. What do you think it might be about, James? He's quiet. Okay, so
not ready for the stage
here we go. If everyone's comfortable, then I'll begin. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in the land of the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, in the land of the Eastern Eagle, there was a village. And in this village was a girl. And this girl, she actually had a birthday on December 20th. And it was very close to Christmas. And she lived just outside the fairy village. And her name was Anna. And she was known around the fairy village as being someone who was very quiet, very timid, and very shy. And she often didn't really like to talk to a lot of people. Well, her parents cared for her very deeply, and they loved her very deeply. And they wanted to give her a very special gift for her 10th birthday on December 20th. So on December 20th, they gave her one single gift. And that single gift was a book. Now, she opened this book, and the pages were blank. She was disappointed. She looked at her parents and said, What is this book? I don't understand. And they said, Look at the cover. Look at the cover, Anna. She said, Well, I am, and all I see is a fairy. The only thing that's on this cover is a fairy. And the parents said, Well, Christmas is coming soon, and it's a very special gift, and you're going to get something on Christmas. Well, Anna,
being a little bit upset and disturbed. She didn't get everything that she wanted for her birthday. She took the book and threw it on the ground and walked away. The next day she woke up, it was the 21st, and she was thinking to herself, I had hoped to have a wonderful birthday, and unfortunately I only got this blank book with this picture of this fairy on it, and I didn't really want just a book, I wanted more. So she went about her day, and her parents said, take the book, put it in your bag, and go to the village. You need to go pick some things up for Christmas. So that's what she did. She picked up the book, put it in her backpack or in her bag, and she started to walk along the cobblestone streets. She soon got to the fairy village, and as she was walking along the streets, she saw a neighbor, a lady who was ill, and her name was Gloria. And she looked at her and thought, I just don't have time for her. I got to keep walking by. So she kept walking by, but before she did, she thought she heard something from her bag, and it was, stop, just stop and listen. So she kept going. She kept on walking. And then as she kept on walking, she just noticed that she had to get her to-do list done. So she got her to-do list done. She got all the food that she needed, and she needed to get her potatoes and the fruit and the vegetables. So she went about the stuff and got her stuff and went home. And her parents said, so, did you get everything you needed? And she said, yep, I got everything I needed. And the parents looked at her and said, so, did you see anyone you needed, did you see anyone? She said, yeah, I noticed someone, but I just walked by. And the parents said, oh, okay, well, why don't you sit down and we'll have something to eat? And so the day went by. The next day, parents said, oh, we forgot something. We needed something else. So the parents said, okay, here's the list. You have to make sure to go get some juice from the village. So she, once again, was just about to leave, and her parents said, oh, remember the book. Remember the book. So she put the book in her bag and continued on. And as she continued on the cobblestone streets, and she realized she had to go to the vineyard. But when she was walking towards the vineyard, she bumped into a family friend who had a cart, and the cart went by, and the family friend stopped and said, hey, why don't you hop on my cart? Are you going to the vineyard? And Anna said, yes, I am going to the vineyard. So they started going on and on and on. And as they were going to the vineyard, they noticed there was someone on the side of the road, and that person on the side of the road wasn't really welcome very much. And he wasn't, people didn't really like him that much. So they said, you know what, we're not going to pick him up. And the person who was running the cart said, hey, that was Michael. And Anna said, yeah, but not many people like him in the village, and he's not worth it. It's not worth picking him up. Even though he looks like he needs a ride, we're not going to pick him up this time. So they kept going, and they went to the vineyard, and Anna went and got the wine. And as she picked up the wine, she decided, okay, I'm going to go back now. So she got a ride back to the home. And just before she was about to get home, she heard something in the back of her backpack. And it was something like, you should have really stopped for Michael. You really should have stopped. And she just ignored it and walked by. So she went into the home, and her mom and dad said once again, hey everyone, hey Anna, how was your ride to the vineyard? Did you get the wine? Yeah, I got the wine. Did you see anyone on the road? Well, yeah, I saw Michael, but not many people like Michael. So he looked like he needed a ride, but we decided not to stop. So the parents said, oh, that's too bad. He might have needed a ride. So as they continued going on their days, they went closer to Christmas. And once again, Anna was really disappointed because, she had hoped that she'd gotten a really good gift, but she was disappointed. But there was a traveling visitor that came. This person's he often delivered packages to the door of their house, and his birthday was on the 24th of December, and this visitor came just selling different knickknacks and different things, and he'd go door to door to door, and her parents, Anna's parents, knew that it was his birthday on December 24th, and so what would happen is he would knock on the door, say, would anyone like to buy any patches or clothes or trinkets or bells? And they would often say happy birthday to him. Well, what happened was the visitor came knocking, and on the 23rd or 24th, they opened the door, and once again, the parents said, happy birthday. But at that very moment, there was a whisper from the book, and it was, remember a gift for the delivery man, or for the man. And for a moment, the parents said, oh, let me just get a package for you. So they went and got something for the traveling visitor and gave it to him and said, you know what? Every year you come to our door December 24th, and we always need to remember your birthday. Here is a gift for you. And Anna looked at her parents and said, and after they closed the door, and said, I don't understand the point of that. Why do you give to someone that you don't really know and give him a birthday package every time it's his birthday? And Anna's parents said, on Christmas Day, I will tell you. On Christmas Day, I will tell you. So Christmas Day came, and once again, the book was off to the side, and parents said, Anna, we are very poor, but we have one gift to give you. And they said, why don't you go to the book? And she grabbed the book from behind and started to flip through the pages. And all of a sudden, she started to see pages that were full in color of the neighbor, Gloria, and Michael, who needed a ride on the cart, as well as the traveling visitor. And what they said, then they said, look at the cover of the book. Look at the cover of the book. And she looked at the cover of the book, and the fairy was gone. And the fairy had become real. And they looked at her and said, our gift to you from now on is the whispering Christmas fairy. So whenever you meet Gloria, who might need a helping hand, or you might meet Michael, who might need a ride on the cart, or you might meet someone whose birthday it is, that you will always truly remember the spirit of Christmas, and this whispering Christmas fairy will go with you from now on. And at that very moment, they said, there are 2 other gifts for you at the door. And they put 2 brand new beautiful fairies in her hand. So now she had 3. And as she had 3 cupped in her hand, she walked to the door. And as she opened the door, there standing in front of her was Gloria and Michael. And she said to them, I am now giving you 2 of my fairies. And Gloria and Michael had been invited to Christmas dinner by her parents. And so from that moment on, Gloria always had a whispering Christmas fairy. Michael always had a whispering Christmas fairy. And Anna always had a whispering Christmas fairy. And from this day on, hopefully, whenever you're in a situation where you think of someone and try to think about how to connect with another person, that perhaps you'll also have a mysterious whispering Christmas fairy right on your shoulder. The end. Great.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed this live recording of an Empathy Tales episode that was recorded on Christmas at my in-laws' house. As you could tell, I was a little nervous at times, and you could tell my voice kind of wavered a bit. But that's part of my journey as an educational storyteller. It's important to be able to share my stories and share my heart and try to communicate the importance of love, care, and compassion. Being a mindful educational storyteller is an important part of who I am and who I want to be. And I hope that you will take some time to think about what it means to be a friend, what it means to care for others. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This is Victoria Wolders, your Empathy Tales podcast host. Feel free to reach out to me at mykidslocker.com. Until next time, I hope you, too, will be able to create compassion one story at a time. Thank you for joining us.